when Lando keeps calling Han, why didn't Han respond by calling him Wando?
Hey there! Welcome to another episode of the Star Wars Minute. It's your daily show where we analyze, we scrutinize, and yes, we celebrate Solo, a Star Wars story, 1 minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
And I'm Chris Radtke, the comptroller of Star Wars City.
Welcome back, big guy.
Hey, big eye.
Big guy.
Big guy. Hey, big guy. I came back.
Now
I was allowed to return.
It's your job to comp all the trolls, make sure they get in for free in
Yes.
Star Wars City? Okay.
That's a troll comper.
Oh,
He's a
okay.
comptroller.
I am the comptroller.
Oh,
I comp the trolls.
Right. Control the
all the
comps.
different types, ice trolls, there's cave trolls,
Sure,
all of them.
sure.
Come on in.
What about like the ones where you spin and their hair goes straight up?
Yep, all trolls.
Those are like
They've
the,
got-
those are like the trolls of record these days. That's if you say trolls, that's what most people think you're talking about
Yeah.
out in the world.
Or internet trolls.
Hey,
Yeah.
we've got all sorts of trolls. Dude, Star Wars City is a very diverse
Mm.
and welcoming place.
Speaking
There's
of
a lot of crime.
Speaking
Those
of
two are
Star
not
Wars,
related. Those two are not related.
No, they are not.
Speaking of Star Wars, let's talk about minute 57 of Solo, a Star Wars story.
Mhm.
Minute 57 is Han telling Lando that he'll see his 2000.
Hmm.
And it ends a minute later with Lando telling Han he's good. And Han saying, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hey.
You're good. Yeah, let's be friends. It's Star Wars, man.
So Lando raised 2000 and
Creds.
and Han sees it, and this is where Han gets the idea of accepting 2000 as a good deposit for the Millennium Falcon trip.
there
This
you
is
go.
where he learns that. So
Oh God.
you can hear the music swells when he hears 2000 and he goes,
He's like, let me note that for sometime in the future.
Totally.
Make a note of that. I got a
What
good
we should
feeling
do
about
is
that
go
number.
back to the original trilogy and then just insert clips from Solo as little flash, like bring flashbacks every time something happens that's related to this. So like, it's like when Obi-Wan's like, we can give you 2,000 now and another 15 when we reach Alderaan, and like
Pauses, he's like,
Lando being like 2,000, and then go back to it, and Han being like, 17, huh?
That'd be amazing.
And I don't want these to be quick. I don't want these to be quick, like
No.
smash cuts. It should be like
No.
literally like 4 seconds to get into it.
It needs
Thing.
time to breathe. Yes. I remember when I was young, when I was a different man.
So
Berlin
And with a little
Amarok.
echo, like 2,000 now, 2,000 now, 2,000 now, 2,000.
2000.
so that's something I don't understand. I've never understood in poker games and movies and TV shows where they just have a pile of, like, it seems like they have chips from like 25 different games, and then you have like
Right.
people like I'll throw in my
There's
watch
some, like-
and my this.
There's some
thing.
like Parcheesi men in there, and
Yeah,
like
I never understood how that's supposed to work in these situations. Parcheesi men. There must be a term for that.
I think they're just Parcheesi men. Well, it depends on which version you're playing. You playing with the little flat wooden discs, or you playing with the little plastic kind of Clue?
You tell me.
Well, even Clue has changed. Everything's changed. Well, that was one of my notes. Was poker with like a little
It's
shruggy
Sabacc.
What
face.
about it?
Like it's the same thing. Like this scene plays out the same way if I'm watching poker on in a movie or on TV, because like I don't know what's going on. You can tell me anything beats anything else, and I'll be like, okay, sure. Oh, is that a big? He raised him, right? Is that a thing? Like I know nothing about poker or Sabacc, and so like that for like you get it from the context, but it's just like okay.
Well, that's why I think it's so funny that they supposedly spent an intense weekend learning how to play Sabacc when you have no, other than just like, I'm -2. There's no,
Right.
they don't, and justifiably, they don't put any effort into having us follow the game because it doesn't matter. It's just,
I'm glad they don't.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, listen,
that's meant almost
you
as a
two.
compliment.
You
that-
guys, you guys need to understand it's a very complicated game that people put many years of dedication into to learn how to play.
It's easy to learn,
to be like
lifetime to master.
Right. So like, just, let the game play. Don't, you're in space.
You don't have to preach to me. If it was up
table.
to me, this whole movie would be about them competing in a Sabacc tournament, and the whole thing would just be set at a Sabacc tournament. You know what I mean?
That would be a movie.
Could you have it be like half Sabacc and then like maybe like 40 minutes of just like brutal torture where like people are getting whacked in the junk with a rattan cane?
No.
Wait, so you want half Sabacc, half whacked?
Yeah, there you go.
No, I want a 2.5 hour Sabacc movie that is just cuts of like how many stupid aliens can you cut to?
There you go.
In 2.5 hours. Exactly. It's like, here's a guy, and then it cuts to like a giant finger that's eating a bunch of faces, and it's really
like
stupid.
Yellow Submarine all of a sudden.
Yeah,
right,
totally.
A giant boot is chasing a giant worm down the street.
But they're all watching a card game.
Now, I was making an offhand reference to Casino Royale, but if you did have that, if you had a big, long Sabacc game with a bunch of aliens, and then you did have a whole torture scene, you could also have goofy aliens sitting around and have their reactions, like when Han Solo gets whacked, they'd all be like, ooh, making all these, like mugging for these reactions. So
it's funny you bring that up because one of my notes was we've been kind of picking on the sound department in this movie a bit. And I think this is a movie
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Well, let's see if it's the same complaint or not. So the scene where they're talking, I raise whatever, and they're kind of, in brinksmanship, gambling wise and stuff like that. And the crowd reaction is like they're on the set of Full House or something. Like he's like, well, whoa! Like it's like a game of Hearthstone, and I just did 8 damage. It was like, it was like I'm watching this, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Compare this to like the scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark where Marion is in the drinking contest with that guy, and all everyone's gathered around. It's a similar kind of vibe, but that one you really get the feeling those people are reacting to what is going on, and they sound like they are in the. There's no way this thing could be that many people could be like. No one would be 10 feet away. People would not be able to hear what they're saying to each other. So it doesn't make any sense for it to be like they're. Anyway, so that was one.
That's a really good point. That's, you hit something that really is that shines here is my problem with all of these Sabacc scenes is I never feel invested in the game that's being played. Like, I don't feel that, like, the intensity of like, what's going to happen next? Yeah. It's like, it's just smarm versus smarm. And it's Ron Howard being a pretty pedestrian director. Thank goodness his daughter is a better director than he is.
I'll agree with you on that. Yeah.
She's great, but he's just like the most, like, he is literally, you know what I'll say? And this is meant for you, Alex. He's the Cheez-Its of directors.
No,
it's good. It satisfies. It gets you through, but it's not well, I take that back. I know that's Alex's first choice, but Cheez-Its is kind of like, oh yeah, Cheez-Its are good.
I thought you meant as opposed to Cheese Nips. Like, which one is?
Ooh, Cheese Nips, Cheez-Its. I think Cheez-Its are better than Cheese Nips.
Yeah, this is an ongoing thing that we've been talking about this season. Is that it's not the sound design, it's the sound mix. That the sound mix, all the stuff sounds like it's coming from nowhere, and it's not happening in a movie. It's just floating around in space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, listen, like, I'll speak out of both sides. At the end of the day, it was a rush job. They had to get this movie done. Right. They're on a tight deadline.
And also, I don't know if I would have noticed it if we weren't going through it minute by minute. I mean, that's also a contributing factor. Yeah. We're like drilling, and
we're like losers, man.
No, I'm saying we're kind of like looking for stuff to critique, So we're gonna notice little things. Like, I'm sure a casual listener would be like, "What are you guys talking about? Like, you're reacting to the people in the background of the movie who have nothing to do with anything." So,
backing it up, let me say that this has been an issue throughout the entire Disney Star Wars slate, and I noticed it in the theater going all the way back to Force Awakens, that it was bothering me. Even back then, it was bothering me. And so it's an ongoing problem, not just with Solo, but with the Disney output in general. And I don't know if there's one person that I'm picking on accidentally. Am I subtweeting some poor woman who's the chief sound mixer at Skywalker or whatever? But it's just been a nonstop. When things are happening right in the middle of the screen, it sounds great. But anytime there's any other sounds, just sound like they're coming from the ether.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm gonna have to start paying attention. You find that on the TV shows too?
Hard to tell because I'm not usually watching those on like my system.
The friggin' worst with your like.
Well, I have to watch them with headphones,
cartoons and toys.
No. What we have to do, we had to do the we have been doing our day of shows for the most part for the live action shows, and those I have to watch them with my headphones on, and so it's a little bit. I guess it is. I don't know. Everything seems a little more immediate with the headphones on. I'm gonna watch it with my sound system and see what's up.
My sound
Intra.
I've developed a system involving sound.
So in the pool, we see a bunch of different coins and stuff, as I mentioned before. But also,
those are creds.
Do we know? Does the Empire not have? We're 10 years into the Empire at this point. Does the Empire not have a coin of the realm? Like, it seems like this kind of stuff should be like
standardized. Look, man.
Thank you.
The universe. The galaxy is a big place, right? So there's like universal currency, there's local currencies, there's trading, there's bartering. So
you're saying even if they were making a conscious effort to replace it, you're saying local coins are still going to circulate around, and just even if they're gradually
look, if Palpatine was uninterrupted from BB-8 all the way to whatever today is, BB-8. Currency would
from BB-8 to today, all your latest hits.
From exactly. Currency in space. We would be at a point where you would have just, the €1. But at 10 years, that's not a lot of time.
Yeah.
You know what 10 years is? 10 years is enough time to forget about Jedi, but not for currency.
Not to replace money. Yeah.
Right.
Could be.
Mm-hmm.
About money.
I like the idea that Palpatine, though, ultimately, I like the idea that he has a long-term, I'm going to do spelling reform, and he has all these long-term goals that he wants to get to that aren't necessarily evil, but that would just make more sense to keeping a galaxy running. So
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's like, these all these torts are really driving me nuts.
I like the idea that when he was dying, his last regrets were that he never lived to get to see
as he's
a universal currency
flying down the shaft.
This is the whole point. The whole point of this all. It's a unified currency. Sith bucks.
It really makes sense. Also, a line item veto.
It should be 6 cents.
Sith bucks.
Sith cents. Sith cents.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Sith cents.
See, it's like a pun, and it's real money.
I see dead people on my money because I use Sith cents.
Darth Bane is on the 100,000 Sith cents.
Padme's on all the ones, so those are the ones Vader has to see all the time that have Padme's face on.
Oh.
Vader goes to the Twi'lecian strip club. He's like, forget it. He leaves with all his Padme ones.
Speaking of puns, Han Solo says, why don't you, he says, Lando says you should quit while you're ahead. And then Han Solo says, well, you should quit while you're behind.
And that is literally, and then he goes, oh, you're cute. That right there is like Han Solo and Lando. They now you have to edit.
That's 3 edits already.
Exactly. Sorry, kids. I know that there's so many kids that are in the back seats of cars going to school in the morning.
Not anymore.
And dads or moms are listening to Star Wars Minutes, the routine. And here comes Radtke and his garbage. And I curse. I'm so sorry, kids. Kids don't
You're
curse.
only calling more attention to it.
Right.
Yes. Eat Shota.
Yeah, it's a weird interaction between the two of them. I don't get that quit while you're behind. Anyway.
No, it was sexy. It was a sexy interaction.
You think it's a double entendre
It was
Three's Company-esque.
It was clearly Lando. He was like, "So, Han, have you ever been to I don't know, Tanab?"
It's like you should you really should quit while you're ahead. He's like, you got a behind that won't quit. And then Six Eyes was just like, I understood that, and like then they had to cut.
Ron Howard's like, no, this isn't Cocoon.
This is too edgy. Cut out some of the jokes, Fonz.
Yeah. And then Malf's like, I. Oh, no. What did Malf say?
I don't know.
He didn't even have a catchphrase, did he?
He didn't. Why didn't Malf? Of all the kids, like, if Gary Marshall's coming in saying you all need catchphrases, that's why Malf quit. He's like, well, what about me?
That's why he quit Malf. In the 12th season of the show.
Right. If I'm 12 seasons in and I don't have a catchphrase yet, that's it.
Yeah, but Chachi's got wah, wah, wah. Like, what's going on? What about my mouth attack? Why can't mouth attack hit?
He just kept, I love the idea of him like showing up to Gary Marshall's office every week being like, okay, I got a new list. What do you think about mouth attack? No?
How about mouth to mouth? And 6 mouths?
So then Lando says, I like this kid. So here we see it being flipped. Han is usually the person calling Luke kid. Now here, Han's the kid. You see, they turned it around. Here's a trivia question for you guys. What is the age relationship between Donald Glover and Alden Ehrenreich?
Donald Glover is 3 years younger.
You say Donald Glover is 3 years younger. Pete, you want to wager?
I will say he is 3 years older.
3 years?
How many Sith cents are you betting?
All in. Here's some Parcheesi pieces.
Here's before I reveal the answer, I will say that Emilia Clarke right in the middle between them. Age-wise.
Whoa!
Donald Glover is the
between
oldest.
them. Are you crazy? What?
Donald Glover is the oldest, born in 1983. Alden Ehrenreich, born November 22nd, 1989. So Donald Glover 6 years older.
So Donald Glover was born in the year of the Jedi.
We have not talked about Lando yet. Chris, how do you feel about Lando?
I mean, of all of the Star Wars, I love Mando.
Mando.
And I'm really worried about Obi-Wan. But
he'll be okay.
And I'm worried. I'm sure he'll be okay.
Right. You go on without him.
You're a martyr. You're a martyr.
It's not worth
it. What a martyr. That's how I learned what that word martyr was.
Me too.
I think the casting is inspired. I think Donald Glover is terrific. I don't understand why we don't have the Lando Chronicles happening on Disney Plus. Like you've got Donald Glover, he's not getting any younger, and just book him and make a bunch of Lando adventures. Like that's like all they should be doing.
I believe,
and they
are, right? That's what's.
No, I mean that was a rumor, but like keep Billy D and the Rise of Skywalker girl out of it. Just focus on literally do Phoebe Waller-Bridges and Donald Glover.
They're not bringing L3 back. Even if they do a Lando show, L3 will not be a part of that show.
What was that controversial?
I mean, when I was Googling something about her before, I put in L3 and the auto thing said L3 worst Star Wars character.
So, not true.
I agree with you.
We'll get there. We got time to talk about L3.
Star Wars character is Padme Amidala.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I was going to say it was Karge, but
Karge.
Yeah.
It's Padme, Karge, and Ben Quadraneros.
Ben Quadraneros is the best.
What about Claude? Isn't that like a Claude?
I love Claude.
He's having a big moment on the internet right now.
Is Claude that stupid?
Yeah,
he's like giant garden slug that lives in the Falcon.
Yeah, he's the worst. He's the worst. He is the worst. You know who's the worst Star Wars character? J.J. Abrams. That's who the worst Star Wars character is.
You know who I don't think is the worst Star Wars character is that white sort of bunny rabbit that's standing next to Han Solo during this scene.
Oh yeah. Oh, I had his. Let's see.
Because I can only find him identified as Solo Species Number 7. I could not find any name for that creature other than that, which is
we might be using the same reference then.
Yeah. Not a lot on it. Not a lot on it out there, which I'm surprised considering he gets to share a shot with Han Solo for a good 15 seconds.
Yeah,
but it really tells you the sort of.
He's heavily featured in the Denny's commercial. If you guys, I rewatched the Denny's commercial for this week because I knew that we were. A lot of these guys were more closely featured in there.
Veterans.
Did he order the moons over my hammy?
Moons over Diego.
But yes, they're all these creatures are featured in the. Go watch the Denny's Solo commercial for the trading cards. They're featured in there.
This looks like a cartoon mascot version of like Cabe. It looks like a cartoony
He's got
version.
like split ears that seem to be independently controllable.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
They call him Split Ears.
Split Ears.
That's his name. He walked in like
Bunny Split Ears. How does it feel to be
on my own?
Such rarefied? How does it feel to be in such rarefied air that you were part of the Solo, a Star Wars story ad campaign along with Denny's?
Yeah, us and Denny's. That's where
it was. Star Wars Minute and Denny's got the sponsorship dollar.
That would explain why the movie didn't do as well as they anticipated, if that is the case.
They were like, okay, so our media plan is Denny's.
Yeah.
And there's this really great podcast.
Two-pronged approach. Denny's.
Oh, remember when everyone got all like in the Star Wars Listener Minute Society and people got all hot and bothered and pissed that you guys were selling out?
Yeah.
I couldn't hear them over all the money.
I know, but kidding. Like now let's take this time because we now have mics. Let's go. And I have my list of grievances I'd like to go over.
Are these just general grievances?
They are.
Hello there.
Yeah. Hello there, Mr. Katz. So what else we got on this episode?
I figured now would be a good time to bring up the my background information on Sabacc. Or should we save it for tomorrow? I was looking at I can't see the clock from here, but
we're definitely over the.
I can't wait. Did I mention that I've got a great Sabacc story for you guys?
Oh, you want to give us another guitar solo story?
Oh yeah, why don't you do a guitar solo? I'll save my Sabacc round information for tomorrow or whatever.
So this is a obvious one. This is that amazing kind of reveal, right? This is where Han Solo kind of flexes his muscle. Lando's like, I'm going to do you. And everyone is all like, this is really exciting.
You feel the tension.
This is the moment. And really probably the most prominent guitar solo in the history of guitar solos should be playing in the background while in a really bad like sound mix. And this is clearly the eruption minute. This is when they're pushing the money in, it's like bang,
bad to the bone.
And it's just it just starts and I hear EVH playing Eruption in the background at this moment. And that's kind of, and I know it's kind of like that's a lazy answer. This is the moment.
They should totally have a droid named EVH who's red with black and white stripes.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to make a custom action figure droid of that. EVH.
Pasadena.
Rest in power, droid.
Conk. Yeah, I'll save my. I was going to guess Eruption for yesterday when you said your favorite of all time. I was like, maybe it's it's either.
No. My favorite,
but
the greatest guitar solo is that. Go back and listen to that if you haven't. But yeah, today is Eruption.
All right.
Tomorrow's minute. Wow, you're never going to guess.
Super duper chocolate Eruption.
Butter Eruption.
What my only other note was your scarf, not my style. Han doesn't wear scarves, really.
Scarves.
I love that they are flirting. They are. This game is over, and those two are making out in the alley behind the bar.
Your scarf,
in the snow.
Not my style. It looked better on my floor. That kind of a thing.
That is and Kira's like what is going on?
Yeah.
And Chewie's just kind of like,
all right, I just met this guy.
We took a shower together, so
I thought we were dating, but
but whatever.
Yeah, so this minute ends with a big thing. Han Solo wins the Millennium Falcon. We didn't even comment on it.
Looks not the Millennium. Oh yeah, I guess so, right? I don't know. Yeah,
he says, he bets, and then he says, "Sorry, I got it," and he says, "You caught me, you got me good." So big moment.
But he wins the ship in the end of the movie. He doesn't win the ship here.
Well, we'll see.
Seems like he does right here.
Minute,
I don't know what could possibly happen that would stop him.
So wait, do they do the Kessel Run in this movie?
We'll get there, Pop.
Yeah, take your time.
You know why? Because we're 1 hour into the movie, if you can almost believe it, almost an hour into the film, which means there's still time for you to call 8-Day Greedo, our hotline. Leave a message about short, ideally funny message about something that's going to happen in the future of the film. What do you think of the Kessel Run? Do you like the tentacle monster that's in that scene? Or would you rather not have a tentacle monster? Give us a call. Let us know what you think, and hopefully we'll use it on a future episode of the Star Wars Minute.
The Star Wars Minute.